Greetings to you, my friend. How are you today? Today, we want to look at how to rise after life knocks you down. How do we rise? How do we stand up again after life knocks us down? A lot of people are down and they're permanently down, but we should not remain there. Everyone has experienced a fall, failure, sudden drop to a lower position, hopes unfulfilled. There are many times when life hits you with a brick on the head and makes you fall. But that doesn't mean you should fall and continue to stay there. You can always get up when life knocks you down. One thing that is common to this experience is the pain and embarrassment. It is easy to get over some falls as time goes on. However, there are some falls that will leave a kind of a scar forever on you. No one is invulnerable and immune to a fall or failure. Thinking we will not fall in life is just a myth. No successful person has gone through life without failure. Falling has invariably become part of our life learning process. So it is not evil when you fall, my friend. The evil thing is what happens after each fall. When life knocks you down, you always find a way to come up and move forward. Or some people will remain on the ground and accept defeat. Jackie Chan, I hope you remember him, said life will knock us down, but we can choose whether or not to stand up or to remain there. Abraham Lincoln, the American president in 1860, I hope you have read his story before he became the American president eventually, will say that it is not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back on your feet. In the whole wide world, there is a lady, apart from baby, that I so much appreciate. Her name is Selena Williams. She is the greatest female tennis player of all time. She said, I have grown mostly not from victories, but setback. According to her, if winning is God's reward, then losing is how he teaches us. Let me draw an analogy on setback or on knockdown, disappointment from the life of our children. When a child gets to a stage in self-development, one day the child starts gripping on the floor and start crawling. At a stage, the baby starts holding something to stand up and start moving his legs. The baby will move 1-2 legs and fall down. He tries again and fall. If the baby remains on the floor, the baby will never walk all his life. If the baby remains on the floor, the baby will never learn how to walk. My friend, it is not a sin to fall, to get knocked down. No, it is not a sin. To be disappointed in life is not a sin. It is all part of the learning process. The beauty of the experience is in what happened after each fall. Now, how do we put the sad experience behind us and move up again? You see, the Japanese have a saying. They say, Nana Korobi Yaoki, meaning 7 fall, 8 getting up. This means fall down 7 times and you get up the 8th time. It speaks to the Japanese concept of resilience. No matter how many times you get knocked down, you need to get up again. Even if you should fall 1,000 times, you need to get up 1,001 time again. Some failure in lives are inevitable. If you want to make a comeback, you must learn how to manage your failures by finding out what went wrong and then start again with a better version of you. The power is that in all we do, the power is essential, not in the fall. The power is not in the fall, but in rising after each fall. So when we get knocked down by life, how do we raise again? How do we come up again? I will share some of the tips with you right now. Number one, how do you rise after each fall? Number one, take time to feel your pain and to heal your mind. Take time to feel your pain and to heal your mind. When you hit the ground on all fours, you may need to feel the pain. Steve Jobs, I hope you remember him, the man, the Apple man, was fired from a company he started. Walt Disney was also fired for what they call a lack of imagination. Abraham Lincoln contested elections and started different businesses 35 times in life, and everything failed until he eventually contested the presidential election and won, and became today, they call him the most noble president in America. There are so many people in the world. It wouldn't be a pleasant feeling for them when they fall. I can imagine them weeping and their wives consoling them when the fall happened. I can imagine them taking walk early in the morning the following day, asking themselves, what happened to me yesterday? Is it real? For the next few days, I can see them talking to themselves, thinking of what happened. This is the time to feel the pain. The time you cannot deny what has happened to you. The time to say, this chapter is closed. What next? Please feel the pain. Don't deny it. When the fall comes, feel the pain. Don't deny it. After feeling the pain, give yourself some time to heal. According to Sean Lin, I read the book, a post written by that guy. The title of the post is How to Rise After Life Knocks You Down. You see, after suffering a big blow, it is hard to accept the truth, and it is often heartbreaking. And probably you will not get over it in a day or two. So if you have just failed, for instance, at a product launch, or been fired from your work, or you have been forced to close down your business, or you filed for bankruptcy, as it happened in different parts of the world, you were caught in a scandal. Take time off to heal yourself, especially emotionally. After Steve Jobs was fired from his own company, he took 3 months off traveling and discovering the whole world. There are some pastors that were caught in scandal. I'll give you an example. I'm sorry that I'm mentioning their names because it has happened in the past, but today God has restored them. People like Ted Haggard, people like Jimmy Swaggart, people like Jim Baker. They took time off when this challenge happened to them. Eventually, they, like Steve Jobs, find out that they still love what they were doing, and they decided to relaunch. Steve Jobs decided to set up a company called Next. The rest, as they say, is history today. Today, all this is past and is history. After a fall, it is a good time to take a rest, to slow down, and to reflect on what has happened to you. It is during this time that most big ideas come back to our mind and people relaunch successful company or businesses. Number 2, how do you come back after a fall? 2, accept what you cannot change. That is the truth. As you are feeling the pain, your heart is healing gradually. Do not attempt to live in denial or blame game. Yes, you are reflecting on what happened and how it happened. Part of the healing process, one important thing to do is to end this fear, to accept the truth that you have failed and take responsibility for what has happened to you. You don't have to hide or ignore it. or deny the fact that this thing has happened. One of the brutal fall a man could have is to be caught in adultery, or maybe in stealing, or in murder. Where there is a second chance, take responsibility and find ways to attenuate the pain in the heart of the people you have violated. It could be your wife. You don't know. Maybe when you go to your wife and you tell her, Madam, I'm sorry for what I have done. You don't know the power of that word sorry. Or it could be your children. It could be your friends. It could be your family. When you agree within yourself that I need to apologize for what I have done, the healing process has commenced. The faster you accept the truth, the better for you, and the faster for you to get out of all the problems. Now, be kind enough to forgive yourself. Stop blaming yourself. Take control of your mind. Tell your mind that, look, this is the season of pain, and quickly get out of this pain. Start assuring yourself that things will be better again. After hitting the bottom, there is nowhere you go to again. The next thing is what? You rise up. Take control of your faculties. However, I need to draw your attention to an understanding. You see, when we say you fail or something has happened to you, it is not you that has failed. Don't always accept that you, as a human being, has failed. It is the process. It is the project. It is the business. It is the plan that failed, not you. You are not a failure. Do you understand what I mean? You are not a failure. So when you fall, it means that something failed. It is not you. Don't always believe that you have failed. That very thing failed. Number 3, what are the processes of coming back when you fail in life? Post-mortem. After accepting that you fail or that thing failed, it is time for you to do what we call the post-mortem, checking out the causes or reason for the failure without bitterness in your heart. This is where the successful people are different from those who fail in life. The former learn from their mistakes and start all over again, while the latter does not care to learn. They just jump into new thing in life. A post-mortem is about so many things. You're asking yourself question, how did I get here? How did the failure start? When did it start? Was I conscious of it or was I careless? Is it from an external factor or from your inadequacies? Who and what are the things to avoid? Who and what do you need to bounce back? Do you need to apologize to anybody or to create or to revalidate your relationship, or you need to form new alliances to strengthen yourself? Do you need to unlearn or relearn some principles and methods? Do you need more education in order to relaunch yourself back to life? Don't forget, post-mortem is always good. Sit down and look at it. How did this thing happen? Number 4, how do you relaunch yourself? The number 4 method is get mentored. Get mentored. In finding out what went wrong, you are finding out how not to do it again. In finding or learning how not to do it again, you are evaluating your options and redefining your goals. Whatever goals that you want to achieve, someone has already achieved them in life before you. Finding out people who have gone through similar situations as you, get their opinion, you learn from them. You don't have to hit the wall and figure out everything on your own. Find out who has done that and learn directly from him or from her. Don't forget, learn from anybody. It could even be from children. It could be from women. Don't let pride ruin you. It is the experience you need. Find out who has done that and learn from them directly or indirectly. That is what we call what? Mentoring. Learn from others. According to Sean Lim, learning from others can shortcut your learning curve. And at the same time, you can see how others have gone through similar situations just like yours and still manage not to only survive, but to thrive. When life knocks you down, reading success stories of people who have accomplished extraordinary result is very, very important. Learn how to read, learn how to motivate yourself from what you have read. You want to launch maybe a Christian ministry or a product company or maybe a Bible school, promote a product. How many books of people who did the same thing in the past have you read? What research have you done? How many people that you trust have you discussed with? This is what we call what? Mentorship. Number 5, how do you come back after a fall? Map out a plan for your goals. Having gotten through proper mentorship you need, it is time for you to do something positive. Napoleon Hill once said that every adversity contains at the same time a seed of equivalent opportunity. Sean Lin, the very person I read so much of his book, said that you have to understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the success. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the success. This is because your failure builds your character. It makes you wiser. It gives you experience to do better in the future. This is the stage to set up a comeback plan. The stage to set up a comeback plan. How long does it take you to come back? It depends on how quick you get out of these pains of life. Planning and starting with a new goal can be more powerful because you have already gained experience and you know what to do and what not to do. Depending on the type of fall, always assess the situation. Don't be too far from your honest friends who can assess you or you can assist you in discussing the situation. Some falls will send some friends away from you. Don't forget, that is life. When you fall, some friends will run away from you. They will say, oh, that man, especially maybe when it's adultery, oh, I cannot come after him again. We are not friends any longer. But no matter how bad the situation is, there will still be someone left with you. Those are the people we call friends. You cannot think alone. Please, always find someone to discuss with. In a situation like this, the person who remain with you, it could be your spiritual father, it could be your mentor. Please do not be alone in your moment of fall. Do not be alone when you have such crisis. Number 7, launch out. When it is time to launch out, be open to new strategies. Keep trying even when you are not in the mood. It is much easier to change when we feel that I am down, or how do I do this? How do I do that? You know, it is easier to change when you are inspired also and when you are energized. But to succeed, we need to commit to our goals even when we don't feel like it. If you need to see someone, go out and meet with the person. If you need their contact, search for their contact everywhere you could get it, including the social media. Do not stay at home and always assume this person will not like to see me or this person will not like to listen to me because of the mistakes I have made in the past. Do not stay at home and assume all these things. Even if it happens, get over it again and move on to the next person. Do your due diligence and start all over again. Thomas Edison, I hope that name is familiar to you, tried over 1,000 times to discover the secret of the electric bulb. Over 1,000 times. And when a reporter met him and asked him, He said, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times? Do you know what Edison said? Edison said, I did not fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. It's wonderful. The story of Edison is never giving up. Great success is built on failure, frustration, and catastrophe. Try all ideas that come to your mind when we are trying or when we are frustrated or disconnected from what inspired us. Please don't always think life has ended for you. No, life has not ended. You still have ways to go. Number 8, and perhaps the last strategy on how to rise after each fall: hold on to your connection with God. In this part of the world, we do things with confidence in God. Please recognize that our lives are in His hands, and that to rise again, we need to turn to Him and ask Him to help us find our ways. Do not do anything without God. I have heard so many people, they will say the white man is not into religion, the white man does not pray, the white man does not do this, white man does not do that. The question is, are you a white man? They will say the white man does not fast. Are you one of them? You are an African. And when you are in Rome, let us do like Romans. Faith is a personal thing. I need God for whatever I want to achieve in my life. And I think you also need it too. Hold on to your faith and what the Lord has said about you. Find power and confidence in Him, and He will perfect you in all your ways. He will perfect you in all your ways. This is all I have for you today, my friend. I believe you have gained one thing or the other on how to rise after each fall. Don't forget, all of us, at one time or the other, we will have challenges, disappointment, failures. We will fall. But please don't let us think that it is all over. We must come back. Don't remain. In case maybe you are in a kind of challenge right now, don't think it is all over for you. Find ways of coming back if you follow these steps. Thank you so much. Our next lecture will come up Saturday next week. That's February 27. And we're going to look at how to prepare for old age without suffering. How to prepare for old age without suffering. This is the most important lecture for so many of us, because many of us are not prepared. And we like it or not, this year is going to be +1 for every one of us. How to prepare for old age that we might not suffer. If you have any comments or any question, don't forget, just put it there. I'll be available to listen to it. I also implore you, my friend, to subscribe to our page on YouTube, eLife Magazine TV. eLife Magazine TV. Also, you can go to my personal website, bolaadewara.com, www.bolaadewara.com, and you can see all we have done in the past. I thank you for listening to the lecture today. Till I see you Saturday, same time next week, the Lord be with you. Thank you. Bye.